Welcome back to the Overcomfort podcast, you guys. It's me, Jenicka, your host. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being here, watching and listening from wherever you guys are at. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review from whatever platform you're listening on. I cannot wait for today's guest. I have my dearest friend, mi amiga, Yasmin BeautyyBird.
Yes.
You guys, if you know, you know. She is one of the OGs in makeup. She was one of my inspirations when makeup influencing became a thing. You were born in Mexico, right?
Yes,
What part?
Amatepec.
Amatepec. And then you live like, what is it? What's the city called? By Santa Barbara? Santa Barbara. It's Santa Barbara. You guys know.
Santa Barbara County, pero Carpinteria.
Yes, it's up there. Okay. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy
Yes.
to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. No, of course. I was like, I have to get one of the OGs, my girl. She's like, we get to parties. We're always lit together. We get drunk.
We do.
It's a little crazy. I'm always scared. I'm like, I wonder if Yasmin's going.
Yeah.
I could get fucked up. Like, let's do it. You're a wife. You're a mother. You're a daughter. You have two beautiful girls. They're my I love watching them and stuff. So I don't know. You were raised in Mexico or you moved over here? How was what was that?
I moved over here to the United States when I was about like a year and a half. So all my life I lived it out here.
Okay.
Up until I was 18, that's when I left the country again to fix my legal status, and then I came back.
Oh, so you left and came back?
Yes.
How long were you over there for?
3 years.
3 years? Is it totally different?
Oh yeah, there was like a flip
culture
switch,
shock.
You know? Yeah.
What? You went by yourself though, or you? No. You like your mom and dad? You just left them here, and you came back?
Well, because my mom had gotten deported, and then finally she came back, and then my dad got deported. So then I was like, they're gonna come after me now, because obviously they're.
She's like,
I had a deportation, so that's why I was like, it's better if I leave, because if I wait for them to come for me, it's gonna be even more worse for me, or I don't feel like I'm gonna handle this correctly.
Right.
So that's when I decided to leave the country and
come back.
and then come back. Like,
no way.
But before I came back, obviously, like I had to go through all the process.
And in between that time, did you meet Valentin over there or here?
So I had already met him in high school.
Oh,
yeah. So we're high school sweethearts.
I love that. Okay, so he waited for you here those 3 years?
Yeah, so when I left, I was thinking like, well, now I'm going to make my life in Mexico, you know, because I didn't know
how long it was going to take, all that stuff.
And so him on his own, he came to Mexico and proposed.
Oh, no.
And he told me, he's like, I can't imagine my life without you.
Round of applause for Valentin. He's not in the room, but oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys were separated during that time though, or he went with you? No,
we had to be separated. Yeah.
But then he proposed, so it makes up all the time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how did you start getting into makeup then? Because I remember seeing like your old videos. And did you start in high school or?
I started in Mexico.
When I was
at
going
that
through
time.
My
whole process. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you used to be in a room and it was like the whitest, like your face was so pale, like the camera, and I'm like, imagine. Everything now is so different. How did you start?
Different.
What made you come up with the idea? Like, were you bored over there?
Well, yeah, and kind of pretty much it was like much more of like me being bored and like super depressed and not knowing what to do with my life, because I literally had nothing else to do, you know? Even if I worked, it was going to be for nothing, you know? So I started watching Dulce Candy, like Nicole Girl, like, you know, them. And they had just started. So I was like talking to my mom every day. We would FaceTime each other. Like, well, at the time it was Skype. If everybody remembers.
Skype.
Now it's like Zoom and all this other stuff.
Damn.
But every day I was Skype in the mornings with her while she was like getting her work done in the mornings. And I would always talk about them nonstop. Like, mom, like Dulce Candy did this. She just bought this. Like, you know. And so my mom kind of came up with the idea, like unintentionally, just to like get me to do something. Like, why don't you start it? You're so good at makeup. And she's always thought this idea of like me being so good at makeup and me like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't like that.
Oh my gosh.
And because she gave me the idea and she's like, I'll send you all my makeup and the little red camera that we would film our Christmas videos with. Like, I'll send you everything so you can get started. And so when she told me that, I was like, yeah, why don't I start it, you know? And literally my first video, I said, I'm starting this because I want to connect with people. Yeah.
And because of your mom.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. And I could I don't even know. I don't think a lot of people know that about this, but I also started makeup because of my mom.
Oh.
Before she passed away, we had this whole idea of like making a cosmetic line together. Or she wanted me to have something. Like she had this idea of like all of her kids like coming out with doing something. And she's like, okay, this is going to be Jenicka. I don't know if you remember Fallas. Not Fallas. Fallas. It's like I don't know what it's, I don't even know if it's called that anymore. But it was like a WSS type of thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, like this is let's do this, because she had her cosmetic line at the time. She's like, I could see that you're always playing with it, like let's do it together and all this stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously things happened, and then I didn't start makeup until like a while after, until you guys of like Karen, like Ale, like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do it. Like I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do it, all that stuff. So that's awesome. Like I love that your mom has a big part of your story. So like being in a Hispanic household and all that stuff, did you ever like struggle with like anybody looking down on you, or like you always had that moral support of like good support?
No. So because like you mentioned, I come from like a Hispanic household. Like I feel like the machismo culture, it looks down upon makeup, you know?
For sure.
And so with my dad, he was so against me with makeup.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why kind of like I also feel like deep in me, like I didn't want to pursue that because I just knew like it wasn't gonna make him proud or anything like that. I didn't want to disappoint him. Yeah. But my mom would always say like, well, even if on the weekends, like you can just like do makeup or hair, you know, like something with that, you know, in the beauty industry. But my dad, for a while, he was like so against it. I mean, even just growing up, like if I wanted to put makeup, he would always tell my mom like, "Pa que la dejas, no la dejes que se pinte." And my dad was so overprotective of me because I was the only girl also. So he wouldn't let me do anything.
Especially because you were over there by yourself too.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
And then, oh my gosh. And then how did he start like warming up to it? Like he started seeing like
he knew like this was something I was passionate about. He would see how much I loved it and enjoyed it, and like how much I would talk about it, and kind of him seeing that kind of made him start to change, like see it differently.
Right.
But then he started questioning like, okay, is this making you money? Like, how are you going to live off of this? Like, I don't understand it. Cause obviously it was at the time very new to everyone, not just like, now it's very normal and common for everybody to start like
everybody's
YouTube channel or content creator. Yeah. But at the time, obviously like everyone else, they had questions and they were just kind of wondering like, how are you going to live off of this? So it was at first really hard. But then once he started seeing like, I moved out, I started buying my own things, like doing big things. That's when he kind of like was like, okay, I can see this being a career now.
Did you ever have like I made it moment? Like
yes.
Because
I feel like it multiple times. Yeah.
Because I feel like to this day, like I've seen your Barbie collab or your Target one or whatever. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've been doing this for so long, like what has been like the moment where like, oh shit, like, wow, like this is crazy.
I mean, I've had so many moments like that. Yeah. Like, I feel like because throughout my entire journey, I've always been so grateful for all the opportunities I've been given. Of course. That every single time it just feels like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I made it. Or like this and that, you know?
Oh, I get excited for you though. Like, I just see like, obviously your hard work and like being, again, like OG makeup industry. Like, and I don't know, like, it's not that it's hard, but like to keep staying on trend but staying true to yourself as well, like to how you started and all that. Do you ever feel like you have like it's hard because you want to be like, I wish it was like how it wasn't back in the day, or like kind of how it is now? Because I feel like for me, like now, like I even get like disencouraged because it's like so many people and like a lot more haters. I feel like back then it was like a lot more softer and like everybody was like more inspired, and I don't know.
I feel like because as we keep evolving and continuing with our social media, like the more exposure people have with social media. And before, when I first started, nobody really had social media. I mean, it was just MySpace from whatever I remember. And then Facebook started. It was just very recent and new. And YouTube, I mean, everybody was like, what is this?
Whatever.
Yeah. They were just wanting to watch like funny movies or things like that. Not movies, but like, you know, little skits and things like that. But I feel like, yes, it has evolved a lot and it's been really hard, and, you know, trying to stay true to yourself. But I feel like from the very early stages, and because I think it helped me to start at an early start, is that I realized being true to myself is what's helping me to try and stay relevant with my following, because I feel like my beauties, I don't know, there's something about them like that they
know.
Yeah. And also that, but like they're so loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so throughout my whole entire career, they've just been following me. And for them, I owe them everything.
Shout out to the beauties.
Yes.
And then you started your makeup line too, right?
Yes, I
oh,
did.
girl. I've even told you in person though, like I live for your lashes. Like, and I'm going to say it respectfully, like everybody started coming out with lashes, but yours, like, they're so natural. There's like the dramatic ones. There's the like, it was that one collection. I can't remember. It was the
vacation
bear
collection.
Yes, the vacation one. And I just remember. I remember getting the package with like
and I've seen your orders come in for that.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I've been ordering like 20 pairs of Chic,
Yeah.
Beauty, Bear. I'm like, I need these. I'm going somewhere. I need to go right now. But I'm like, yours have been so different, you guys. If you guys haven't, if you don't know, please, Birdie Lashes Beauty, you need to get on it. And then the mascara, girl, that mascara. You had posted a TikTok, I remember, of like coming out with that. What was the story behind it? Because you said it was like very emotional for you, right? Coming out with something like the mascara. What was it like? In case people obviously don't know, like how was that process for you?
So the reason why I've been so very passionate behind my entire brand, just not just the mascara, but the lashes, is because that was kind of like my first roadblock from like when I started YouTube. I had an incident right before, the day before actually starting, I think it was like a day before or something. And if you guys don't know, in Mexico, like in order to have warm water, you need to turn on the boiler outside. So because I was living by myself, I didn't have a man or anything to do that, right? So I went to turn it on, and I don't know why, but all of a sudden it exploded. So all the fire came onto my face, burned off my lashes, part of my brows. All my baby hairs were gone, like everything. Yeah, it was gonna be bad, but thankfully, like I put it away right away. But my lashes got burned off, and that was the only thing that I like.
You loved,
yeah,
right?
So because of that, you can imagine, I was a hysterical crying,
of course,
bad. And I called my husband, my mom crying, like, I just wanted to start my YouTube and now I can, this and that. And they were like, it's okay. You can start it when they grow back or whatever. And in that moment, I thought, well, I have one pair of lashes and they were the Airedale ones.
Right.
And I was like, I've never put on lashes before.
No way. So that was like your first time.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try it. I'm just going to go for it, record my first like intro video. And then from here, I'm going to do like a makeup tutorial.
Whatever happens, happens.
And then let's see how it goes. Obviously, it was a complete fail. If you guys go back to that video, like my freaking lashes, like from the inner corner flopping up. Like,
girl.
But because of that reason, I took that leap of like faith in me.
Yes, of course.
And so it kind of just stood with me. And ever since, I never stopped wearing lashes.
Right.
So with a mascara, I feel like it's just kind of like a tribute to myself, like from when I started, like, yeah, from my whole journey.
That's so beautiful. Did your lashes grow back?
They did.
Okay. Did they grow back? That's what's important to me. No, but that mascara is life-changing. Like if that's another side little thing. So that's when you started Birdie Lashes? Like that's what inspired you as well? Like, you know, after all the hard work of like influencing YouTube, all this stuff, you're like, you know what? This is my time to make a makeup line.
Yeah. Because I've always had it in my dreams. I made a video very early on, if everybody remembers that, like my beauties.
Of course.
I did a Draw My Life video where I kind of like told my story when I finally, like for the first time, opened up to my beauties of like my life and my past. And in there, I wrote my dreams that I wanted to accomplish, which was like becoming a mother, traveling the world. And in there, that was that one last thing that I was starting my makeup
So you
brand.
manifested it all.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you planned your babies or no?
I didn't like, how can I say it? Like, I knew I've always wanted to be a mom. I was always scared of being a mom because obviously the whole journey of itself, like already, it's crazy just to say. But with Jaylene, I tried and it wasn't happening. And then finally, once it did, like, okay, I knew from the start, like, you know, when I'm actually have to do the deed, you know, and all that stuff. So like I went through the whole step. So with her, yes, I did. And with Kai, it was a little bit different. Like, yes, we did want to plan her, but when we stopped planning is when it happened.
Oh.
And the crazy thing is that they obviously have the same timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like, God said, you planned this up. He's like, absolutely not. This is when you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Has it been different though? Like obviously that balance of like being a mom, your makeup line, being a wife and still being an influencer. Like, has it been hard for you? Or do you feel like you've made like obviously now you have a routine and all that stuff with the girls. Like what's a day in the life for you? Like balancing that out.
Well, it's all about like, I feel like scheduling myself like in between my roles because like you mentioned, like I have to be a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, like a content creator, influencer.
Right.
And so I kind of block off my times. Right. And then also I have my me time because I have to put myself first. So the first thing I do in the mornings is give myself that time for myself. And my husband respects it and like he loves it because he knows that it's going to like put me in a better place for the rest of the day. So I have that when I put in my time to like work out or like meditate or like just have my morning routine to myself, you know? And then from there I go straight into work, like, you know, either like if it's with my social media with BeautyyBird or Birdie Lashes, meetings, whatever. And then from there, I kind of mix both the wife and the mother together because we love having our family time. And at night, of course, like I always mention it to my beauties, like when it comes to having that time with your husband, make sure you have at least that 1 hour at night. Even if it's just to watch a movie or just like sit in silence with each other, like whatever it is, but like, you know, kind of connecting with each other at the end of the day. Like, you know, how was it?
I love that because then it's like, you're healing. You're not healing, but you're paying attention to all parts of your life.
Yes.
For the next day to be like healthy and all that stuff. I have a question because obviously I mean, I think everybody knows, but your parents live with you or how is that?
Yes.
What's that like? Because I never knew that they lived with you until Tony told me.
Yeah.
Is it hard?
No, not at all.
I feel like
because of the things that we've been put through with my life,
right,
my immigration status and all that, I feel like we appreciate the time we have with each other.
Love it.
And so I feel like that's kind of like what makes our family a little bit different, that como somos unidos. And they don't ever overstep or anything in our life.
Marriage or anything, right?
No, nothing. They kind of like respect that. And I feel like that's kind of like one of the principles that they've been like inculcaron in me, to respect other boundaries. And
that's good.
So I feel like that's why we have such a good dynamic of like never having issues or any problems like that. But I feel like the structure of our home, it's very different because it's like we can have our own separate entrances and like, you know, they have their own space and things. Like obviously the common areas like the kitchen and the living room where we share them together.
Right.
But we also have different schedules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I was asking like, because I never knew, but like obviously like the videos and all that stuff, I'm like, that's beautiful. Like obviously like, even like when my sister got married too, like my mom wanted her to move into the house and like my like, no, like you're nosy. Like, and obviously it's like different for everybody. Like there's some are very chismosos, like parents are very chismosos and like in the marriage and say you and Valentin or whatever, you know what I mean? Which I love and appreciate because like, you know, you still get to have them around and the girls get to be with their grandparents. Like no hace falta nada.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, we're going to go on a quick break and we're going to talk about something exciting that Yasmin's doing. So we'll be right back. All right, you guys, welcome back. So Jasmine gets here and she's like, okay, I was telling her, I was like, thank you for making the time to be here because, you know, we have busy schedules and she's super busy. She's like, yeah, I'm getting surgery tomorrow. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like random. I'm like, no wonder you're so busy. Okay, let's talk about it because one of the topics was self-image and obviously like playing a role. You've worked out, you're working out, you've taken care of yourself. You've had 2 babies, C-sections, all that stuff. Like, did you always have surgery in mind or was it just like, you know what, I've worked so hard? Like, how was that process? Like, did it just come up out of nowhere or like you've always wanted to?
No, I mean, for those that don't know what I'm getting, because you just mentioned it. So what I'm getting done tomorrow is a breast reduction and lift.
Yes, girl.
And then I'm also doing what you could call like a mini tug because they're just removing like the loose skin.
Your baby skin, right?
From the pregnancies and the weight loss journey. But with my breasts, it's always been from even before I was a mom, like I've always had in mind to do this breast reduction because I've never liked my breasts being so big. Yes. It's first of all, not just like the aesthetic of it, because like with like tops and like cute things like that, like you can't really wear them or rock them. It's annoying. Yeah.
It's very annoying.
Very annoying. And especially if they have like the little bra cut out. Like,
oh my God.
They don't fit in that.
The dresses with the little cups.
Yes.
And they're like the smallest little.
They're like half to my boobs.
Like, no, bitch. Like, I have big ass tits. Like, can you just make it a little
bit bigger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? No, but go ahead.
But yeah, aside from the aesthetic, but like also the back problems, neck and shoulder pain. I'm constantly in the chiropractor's office, like constantly. And it's all because of my big boobs and everything. Yeah. If I do something like an activity of standing up and like doing it constantly with my hands or whatever, like washing dishes, washing my brushes or whatever it is,
it just hurts.
It just hurts. And I've always hated it my whole life. And I was actually like, it was funny because I was talking to my husband. I'm like, before I scheduled the surgery and everything, I'm like, I can't believe since first grade, I've never liked my boobs because I was one of the first to start growing my boobs. I was an early bloomer.
Since first grade?
Yeah. Normally first graders worry about like their shoes, their backpack, their little erasers.
Girl.
I was over here worried about my boobs because they were growing and I needed to wear a bra, like those little like training bras.
Right, of course.
And so I started like taking out clothes from my brother's closet and I started wearing their oversized shirts because I was so insecure about them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So this has always been from the very get-go, like something that I've always wanted that I just wanted to reduce.
And then obviously after like the babies and stuff, like you wanted to do, you're like, might as well.
The only reason I stopped myself from doing it before was because I had already gone to consultations about this before I got pregnant and all. And then they kept telling me like, you should wait if you plan on having babies because then if not, you're going to have to redo it. Because usually most of the time after pregnancies or like, having your breastfeeding journey or whatever, most likely women want to come back for their second revision. So that's the only reason why I never did it before.
So the factory's closed. No more babies.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. 1,000%.
Valentin, did Valentin?
He got a vasectomy.
His vasectomy, right? Okay. Yeah. Did you get a lot of hate because of that? Because
there was a lot
and, like, they wanted you to do it?
It was very confusing because this is obviously a very personal choice.
Of course.
Like that it's not going to affect anyone but ourselves.
Of course.
And the fact that there were some people, women included, that were just like, but you need the boy. Yes. Or like, you need more children. Or like things like that. I was just kind of like, what is up with people? Like,
did you guys feel like you needed the boy though?
No. And I've talked about this. I don't need a boy to feel fulfilled already. As a mother, this is what I've always wanted.
Like, these two girls are already wild and crazy.
They're full of personalities.
Oh my God. Okay, so I know that the podcast is probably going to be out by the time you're out of surgery, but are you nervous? Are you excited?
Oh my God, yes.
Feeling?
I am so nervous. I was telling her, I'm like, I'm not even nervous about being here because I know your whole podcast is about, taking you out of your comfort zone. Yes. I'm not even worried or stressed about that. I'm worried about the surgery.
Girl, I get so nervous and excited for you because I know how good you're going to feel after. I mean, you're beautiful and gorgeous now. Thank you. You've worked so hard, like obviously like with the babies and all that stuff. And it's twice as hard to come back. But the fact that you're just doing this now for yourself, like, I'm just excited for you. I just like, I love when like you could do something for yourself and like the fact that you take care of yourself and you have your me time in the morning and especially like with you being busy, like, I don't know, it's just something to look up to and all that. How do you feel like, hold on, I had a brain fart. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So obviously, like you mentioned about social media and then their opinions are like, are you ready for like the opinions that everybody's going to say though, like about your surgery?
Yes. I mean, this was kind of something that I also didn't want to like even do. I kind of even had this like moment of like, do I really want to do this? Because I already know once I talk about it, people are going to have their opinions. But I always have to remind myself like people are going to have an opinion no matter what. And I can't be this hero for everyone or like even like your, how can I explain this? Even the people that I looked up to, I don't look at them like they're going to always be inspiring me at 100% because even those people, like even my own family can disappoint me at one point,
Of course.
So I can't be this hard on myself and continue like, just being this inspiration for women. Like at one point I have to make myself happy and this is something that I've always wanted. And you have
that constant pressure. That constant pressure. You're just like, no, like I have to like do things for me.
Myself. Yeah.
Yes. So how do you personally deal with like negativity then? Like with hate and all this stuff? Like, cause you're rarely and any drama. I only know of one occasion, and I'm not going to bring it up because it's not necessary, and I obviously don't know like details, but it's like you're never in drama. When you are, I can't even say that you are, but like when you get hate or like, how do you manage like going through your comments and all that stuff?
It's easy to say I just don't, but it's the truth, because even if I was, like you mentioned, like when I went through a situation and even if I get like a hate comment or anything, there's no point in me acknowledging it, because at the end of the day, these people that are attacking me are still not going to like me.
Of course.
They're still going to have an opinion. From the very moment that they decided to attack me or say something negative, it's because they already didn't like me. So why am I going to waste my time trying to convince them that this is the other way, or like to like me, or like there's just no point. There's going to be people that don't like you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You can't, fulfill everybody.
Girl. And I was going to say, because like obviously when you started like your makeup journey, I feel like it was like the Latina, every Latina wanted to be an influencer at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you had like struggled, even now, because of like different backgrounds and all this stuff, like competition in that sense?
No.
With, like, people?
No. If anything, it made me so happy to see so many
good.
more Latinas wanting to come up and be content creators or influencers, because I feel like we have always lacked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
From
agree.
the very early stage, I feel like I was in a box for some reason. Like I just felt like trapped. Like I couldn't be myself. Like I couldn't show my culture or anything, because in the early YouTube days, that's all it was, like just beauty and like a full,
And now everybody's like friends with each other.
Yes.
Like your comadres, like everybody loves everyone. And it's like, I appreciate like now, like even for myself, like looking up to like, obviously you guys, like you guys set like this path for like younger creators, and even now, like people try to change it up, and it's like, no, sometimes me personally, I wish it was back like the old days. Yeah. Like I feel like there was so much love and so much more, not so much hate. And I think now, because it's like TikTok, and like TikTok's a whole nother like world, and like they're harder on you. Do you get a lot of hate on TikTok? Because I do.
Not really.
No. Oh, you're
I'm
lucky.
always like the opposite, saying like I love TikTok.
No, girl. I personally, I love TikTok.
Yeah.
But I feel like because they're a logarithm or whatever that word is.
Algorithm.
Yeah, algorithm. Their algorithm, like it hits everybody, like different parts of the world, and like it gives everybody the opportunity to like talk more mess.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred social media? Like which one like you love
right
more?
now I love TikTok. Yeah.
You love it?
I feel like I'm just so on it every time. And I feel like that's what's inspiring me right now, is for my creativity to be just like recording stuff. But I mean, no, like I feel like once, like you mentioned, it doesn't just go to like a certain following,
which
or
is good too.
Yeah,
though.
it's good. But once a video goes viral, like yes, of course you're gonna have opinions from all type of people, including men. That I'm just like, what are you doing in my beauty video?
Yes,
like it might get ready with me.
Or they send like weird comments too, like pointing out the weirdest shit. I'm like, okay, I didn't see that either. But oh my gosh. Okay, well we're gonna go on a quick break. Girl, because I need to go to the bathroom. But we'll go on a quick break and we'll be right back, you guys. All right, so welcome back, you guys. Okay, so obviously social media has like its ups and downs. It could take you to dark places, depression, anxiety. I don't know if you've personally ever been through that. If you have, or if you haven't, what are like your ways of valuing your self-worth and kind of ignoring that? Or like, have you had depression or anxiety because of social media, or because of this position, or like any other experience in your life maybe?
I mean, I have dealt with anxiety, depression, and all that. I mean, even when I started my YouTube channel, when I first started, I started it with depression and anxiety. Every night crying and going through episodes. But as I've continued my journey and have, gone through my life stages and all that, like, yes, I've had my downs, and I've feel like I, one point in the middle of my whole entire career, had depression and went down. And it was hard for me to pick myself up, because it's like now you're in the open eye, and then there's constantly opinions of how you're going to deal with it or whatever. And I mean, it's just kind of like reminding myself like my true value of like my message that I always say, to live tu vida un día a la vez. And just reminding myself to be grateful, because that's kind of how like it helped me navigate my journey when I was in Mexico. And just starting to journal, like my gratitude journal.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Trying to be grateful and finding the joys in your life, even as small as they are, like the warmth of your
Happy
coffee,
little
or
moments
like little
every day.
sunshine that's hitting your face or something. Little moments that just build up.
Oh, every day. My
Yeah.
coffee, my coffee, my coffee. No, but did you ever feel like in those moments, or like as like obviously time has changed in social media, because obviously the pandemic and all that stuff, like it changed everybody's life and content, and obviously thank God we're better now. Everybody's healthier and like all our families are here. Did you ever feel like you missed out on things because like, or like you were backed up, like because you're an OG, right? Mm-hmm. Did you ever feel like, oh, I don't know if I could do this because it's too new, or you just did it? Like,
No. I feel like any new trend, I automatically like.
You do.
Yeah.
I love that, because I feel like there's some people that don't do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're always on trend. Like your content is like boom, 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 boom. Like you're doing it. Like you're young. Like you don't care, and but you still mix it with like your family and like everything. Like you have a healthy balance. Do you ever get scared because like you show the kids and all that stuff about like what people say, or like your husband or whatever? Like obviously you know like your kids and your husband, like, but random ass people.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I would get scared even when I get like a boyfriend or whatever. Like I don't know if I would be able to have the guts to like show this person, or when I have kids, like I just feel like the world is so evil.
Yeah.
Like it just wouldn't make sense. And especially like, you know, like all these movies that come out and like, oh, like Get You and all that. Like, do you ever like struggle or think twice because of it?
I mean, at the beginning, yes, I did have my moments of like, do I want to share my family, especially when I had my daughters. With my first one, I remember like, you know, they would say horrible things, and in that moment, it's kind of like I have to think like, do I really want to show the world this or not? But then at the same time, I feel like I've always shown my life, and I feel like my beauties are like, I don't know, they're just part of my family, you know? And I just felt like if I closed that door for them, I just felt like I wasn't being true to who I am in my social media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what I am. I'm an open book for them.
I love that. And like it's worked out so well. Like,
Yeah.
And obviously like, you know, time goes on and all that, and I feel like because you're so authentic and so organic to who you are and your content, like it still works out. You know what I mean? Because like there's people that just do it for the money, and like and you could tell, but you could tell that you do it because you love it, because you love your kids, and because you want to show this, and like I even tell my sister Jackie, I'm like, sister, you really need to like do more TikToks, like show the kids, like obviously it's not easy, like creating content is not easy, especially when you have 2 kids. My sister has 4. So it's like I know that it's like the balance and doing it, it takes a lot of time, and it's like, you guys, she's busy, like she has her makeup line and like all that stuff. Is there anything that you could tell people, like moms in your position, like, or people that want to open up a business or be a content creator, like to make their mark in the industry, or like advice that you can give them?
I mean, there's a lot I can say, but I want to say that first, like you mentioned, being true to who you are, because only you are you. Nobody else can be you, and you have that unique talent, beauty, and just persona in general. And when you show that through the world, you're going to open up more doors, because they already can see that. People are not stupid. Like through the screen, they can really see your true colors, your true intentions. Like, and so I feel like once you start opening up to them and showing them who you really are and what you're passionate about, your values and all that stuff, that's when I feel like kind of like doors open up to you. And then even with my business, like you mentioned, like even though like you mentioned, everybody's starting a lash business, but I started with my purpose, with my own intention behind it, with my values, what it means to me, and putting my culture behind it as well, because that's what I'm so passionate about as well.
That's what you could tell the difference.
And that's what makes me stand out.
You feel it. No, and it's like you don't even have to say it. Like you just feel it. You're not doing it, like I said, for money or for the clout or the esto y esto. Like you're literally doing it because you have a story. Your lashes burnt off. It's like, I'm going to do some shit to give my lashes back. Or like, is that only what you want to do? Or is there more for like birdie lashes that you want to do?
There's more.
Yes?
Yes.
I'm excited. I get excited because it's like, oh, like you're obviously doing it from the ground up. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know, you didn't know where to start, right?
No.
Like you just did it just to do it. And it's like, you had your husband and the support, and it's not like you can ask your daughters to put on these lashes to like test them, like, and you only listen to yourself. Like you have to like do it. Oh, I just love when like you like, because you're just, I get choked up. I'm sorry. I get like all stuttery, but it's just beautiful because I don't know, when you say your story, like coming from Mexico and like literally battling, coming back and forth and not being able, that possibility of not being able to make it. And like, I think of all these other kids or families and people that don't get to see their parents in Mexico, and like they're literally working twice as hard for them to be able to come back or for them to be here. And it's like, you have a story here. Like someone that literally made it, that lived in Mexico by herself without the love of her life. He went to go propose. Like, I just, your mom, and like running that risk. Like honestly, it's really, really beautiful. Did you ever feel like you didn't want to do it though? Like you wanted to quit? Like you,
like quit like the
in general,
and
anything in general. Like in any moment you wanted to quit the lashes or social media or just be here with your kids or this and that?
I mean, yes, I've had my moments where I feel like it's like, especially when all the stress is coming down on me, like that I have to do so many things or meet deadlines or, you know, whatever. It's in those moments that I'm just like, oh my God, I'm in the thick of it right now. Like I have to push through, or maybe I should just give up, like stop this, you know. But then I always remember myself, like from when I started, and I'm looking back at the journey and seeing how many people, and I honestly, let me just say something. Anytime though, like I've felt like I want to quit or stop or not continue, there's some way, one way or another, a beauty that will message me.
Really?
I kid you
like
not.
Diosito
It's like Diosito, yeah. And they will message me telling me how I've changed their life or how I've inspired them, or like
that's beautiful.
Just a beautiful message to
keep
me going. Yeah, to give me that push, like saying like, you're doing it. You're doing great, or like,
and I
doing
can
what you're
relate.
doing.
I could relate to that too, because this podcast, you guys, like oh my gosh, like there's been times where I've wanted to stop it. Like I wanted to, like, because I'm not going to complain. Like I love working and I love what I do, and obviously social media, but adding the podcast just kind of like added, you know, a lot more responsibility, and then, you know, the plate is already full. Like I'm over here putting things in like the edge, and I'm like, okay. And I've talked about it with like my producers and people, and they're like, no, like if you really want to, then okay, just stop. And then I'll be outside one day at the fucking grocery shopping, and people like coming up to me like, thank you, because I wanted to, like, I've been in depression, I've been in anxiety, and like I've experienced this, and hearing your story and the people that you bring, like, I think at the end of the day, it's like, we do this because we want to heal people, heal people and guide them, and like that's why I loved bringing you, because I got to hear your story more and people to understand you more, because you're bringing healing, even for yourself, like healing yourself. And like when you say it out loud, it's like, damn, like I really went through all of this, and it's like, I'm going to do this because I know somebody else is going through it, or because it's going to help somebody, I don't know, inspire them to come out with a makeup brand or do a podcast. And I think it's just, I think we're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing it. No matter how stressful it is. What is one guiding principle or advice that like you can give somebody, like, again, for like makeup line? Like, cause we're starting mine for my mom's, right? So, and like my sister put me the captain and all that stuff, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. No, but what is like something, because there's people want to come out with makeup lines. What is like something, an advice or something you could say for somebody with inspiring to do that?
I mean, there's a lot of advice I can give too, because it's not just one thing that can just make it all happen. I mean, first, like, pray on your team, because if a team is what's going to make your brand as well. So making sure that, you know, you have the the backup people that are going to be like picking you up when you can't do it on your own, because there's going to be hard times. Making sure that you have savings and not overspending from what you have. Ooh. Or noticing like the little things that, okay, maybe I don't have to spend in this much, you know, like little things like that. Just kind of like not playing it safe, because at the same time you have to also jump into being in like a leap of faith, or like, you know, but kind of just not overdoing it to the point that when you have to reel it back in, there's something there, you know.
Did you start like by yourself, out of pocket, like all that stuff?
Yes.
Was it scary?
It was very scary.
It's like literally paying for like a car or a new house.
Yeah.
But you don't know.
Like you give all this money and then you don't know how it's gonna do. It's like a flip coin.
Girl, I would be so nervous.
Yeah.
But it's worked out so good for you.
Yes,
Are you happy with everything that you've come out with?
Oh my God, yes.
There's not one thing like you're like, damn, I shouldn't have done this, or like, are there certain moments where like you doubt yourself, even like, should I really come out with this, or like,
yes, even with like the mascara, obviously it quickly became our best-selling item now. But at the beginning, I was like, oh, people might not like this. People are gonna think it's stupid, or people are gonna think like, why is it a dual-ended thing? You know, like, or for bottom lashes. I don't know. I just kept overthinking everything, and look at it. It did so great.
It really did. You know what though? It's that. We're going to talk about it, but it's that one bottom lash brush, girl. It is so good.
Thank
like
you.
That, it has me in a chokehold. Like, I even use it on my top lashes when I want like a natural look, and I'm just like, maybe a little bit, like here, there, whatever. Did you come up with it, or like, did you have a design in mind of how you wanted it?
Yes. So it was actually my mom who inspired me behind it. Yeah.
I love Juanita.
My mom, I have always wanted her to always be applying mascara in her bottom lashes, but they're so freaking tiny. Like short. And when I do apply it, I have to like put the brush like a certain way or things like that. And I would have to like, you know, instead of like this, I had to like put it.
Oh, yes.
So it was always like finding like little tricks to do her bottom lashes that it got me to think like, why can't somebody just do a freaking tiny little brush head? Like, why is that so hard, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like
because they're always thick.
Yes.
They're the thick ones, and then they're curved.
And then they're curved and things like that. Yeah. So they sometimes have like weird shapes or a ball at the tip or whatever. Nothing has really worked for my mom, because at the end I have to like clean it up and everything.
Of course.
But I was like, there has to be a brush out there, you know? So when I started doing my mascara, I started requesting like smaller brushes, and then finally we found the perfect one. And
they're like, the smallest little thing. This is the last small one.
Yeah, but I was like, but I love it, because even like you said, like if you want that natural look for your top lashes, you can wear it with that brush. Or even if you want to like just separate them, it's so perfect for that.
It is.
I love it.
They're really sleeping on it. I know it's the best seller, but if you guys have not gotten it, I'm telling you right now,
it makes the biggest difference.
It makes the biggest difference, and it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you have the CEO, you're the wifey. How's that balance as a wife though? Like, you guys take the time for yourself as well. Like you mentioned, like obviously at the end of the day you guys come together and it's you guys, but like date nights, all that stuff, like is it difficult because of your guys' schedule, or like you forced yourselves to make the time and all that stuff?
I want to say like, even I feel like my beauties have watched it in my vlogs through TikTok now, because obviously I do my vlogs there now, but they've noticed it that even if it's just to run errands, we make it a date. Like we make ourselves like in the middle of the whole thing, like to go have lunch together, or like little things like that, because obviously, yes, like you mentioned it, we're always busy, we're always out and about or like doing something, but we take the moment in our day to focus, like how can we make this something about us?
Yeah. Yes, and with the girls, right? Because they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, they're not.
They're like, you're coming on a date with us too.
Yeah.
What's the most valuable lesson as a mom that you've gained, or like has rewarded you? You're like, wow, like I'm so grateful for this little girl. Like,
oh my God. What's the most valuable lesson?
Yes.
I feel like because I had girls, it's kind of like valuing myself as a woman,
of course,
especially in this world, like, and so giving them that confidence in themselves to love themselves, and like no matter what people are gonna have opinions about them, especially because right now we're also in the opinion of the public eye.
Yep.
So when they get older, like for them to be strong and confident in themselves that I am who I am, and I'm not gonna let opinions like of others like bring me down or anything. So I feel like that taught me to take that on myself, because if I can't do it for myself, how am I gonna teach?
It's like feeding it back to you.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because you do your TikToks with Jaylene and
Yes.
Kai's like the more little quiet one, and I love her, but she's like, "Tú eres chingona, mami."
Yes.
I'm like, and you taught them that, like you taught, and they see it, and it's like, wow, like this little girl's telling me I'm chingona. I'm like, fine, I'm gonna lift this
push
weight
even harder.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm gonna lift this weight. I'm gonna do this, and that.
Yeah.
What's like a family tradition from your childhood that you want to like put in there?
I feel like because we always have our cafecito time, I feel like everybody knows this.
Yes.
Even when my grandma comes, like we try to include them in it, even if it's like a little cup of lechita or whatever. But like we give them a
Like
little mug.
You see their little bodies.
We give them their little like mug, and then we have them sit down with us and then just talk about our whatever, and just kind of like have them be part of that. And I want them to continue growing up so that way when they get older, they can invite me for cafecito.
You're like, you better. I didn't have all this cafecito time.
Yeah.
For you not to invite me.
But just kind of like remembering the importance of family time.
Yes. What's your favorite part about being a mom?
There's so I'm like, wait, I don't want to cry. No. But I feel like just seeing their faces at the end of the day, and then them just telling you like how much they love you. Or like whenever I'm getting like dressed up, like today, my daughter saw me like get up so early and start getting my makeup on and everything, and she goes, "Oh my god, mami, estás bien bonita, like, ¿a dónde vas?" Like, and then I told her, "Oh, I'm gonna go work, I'm gonna go film something," and she goes, and them just like, "Oh, pues que te vaya bien," like, yeah, like, I'll see you later.
I would melt. I would have texted myself. I'm like, girl, I'm not going. I'm gonna go stay with my daughters. No, but that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, I really appreciate you coming out, waking up early, and obviously spending the time here with us and letting me know. Obviously, sharing your story with everybody who doesn't know, and like knowing where you came from, and really putting it out there for the Latino culture, and just staying true to who you are. Like, you're just so genuine.
Thank you.
We should have took a shot. But imagine. No, but I really, really appreciate you being here, and like, I don't know, it just filled my heart, and it just took me back to like when I would watch you on YouTube and like really just listen, and I don't know, really be inspired. So I really thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Is there, you want to share your socials so that everybody can follow?
Oh, yes.
All that.
So I'm pretty much BeautyyBird on all platforms. Literally nothing else. And it's BeautyyBird with 2 Ys.
Yes. We're going to have it in the description box. Is there anything else? I know you get your surgery tomorrow. Sending good vibes, everybody.
Thank
Prayers.
you.
Pray. El Diosito que te cubre y all that good stuff. I'm going to be messaging you and all that. But is there any projects, any new launches, maybe brands that you're collabing with that you can give us a sneak peek about?
Oh my God. I mean, yes. I feel like I've already sneak peeked this on my TikToks, but I'm going to get ready with me. But it's an eyeliner.
Ooh. Okay.
That everybody keeps asking me about it, but it's coming. It's coming.
Okay. Yay. We're excited. So everybody, make sure you guys cop your lashes. Birdie Lashes. Birdie Lashes Beauty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Birdie Lashes Beauty.
Birdie Lashes Beauty. Get beauty. Get the style beauty. I promise you, it'll change everything for you. And the mascara and the lash glue. That's it. Just get it all. But thank you guys so much for watching. From wherever you guys are at, make sure you guys leave a review, subscribe, follow my lovely friend Jasmine, and we will see you guys in the next episode of the Overcomfort Podcast. Bye. Overcomfort Podcast is a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network.